Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is the Mirror 2, a synthesizer deck that uses a tutor to make sure we get a synthesizer on board. And once we do, we can keep tutoring up more synthesizers. We've also got a generous helping of ways to make copies of the synthesizer for maximum synthesizer action. We've also got a bit of hand disruption that doubles as a tool to enable our tutor, along with a touch of removal to help us stay in the game until we can populate the board with Robot Overlords. We start things off with Spyglass Siren, a little 1/1 flyer that makes a map token when it enters. The map token might seem insignificant, but it's one of many things we can use when we fire off a Beseech the Mirror and sacrifice it to enable Bargain. That way we can play out the card we tutor if its mana cost is 4 or less. 3 Steps Ahead is a powerful tool in any synthesizer deck. Its 3 modes can all be useful, but most especially the duplication option, which will let us copy a synthesizer at instant speed. Hopeless Nightmare is our early hand disruption that we can sacrifice later to get a scry. It disrupts the opponent and helps us find our key card. It's also another card that we can use to pay the bargain for Beseech the Mirror, though in that case, the scry is not very helpful since we end up shuffling the deck anyways. Tithing Blade is our bit of removal to help slow down the opponent. It's great when they are relying on one big guy to get the job done. We can also make a token copy of it if we need, and then duplicate the copy with a helm for instant removal when we need it. Patchwork Banner is our artifact mana source that also boosts our Robot Overlords and will trigger the synthesizer. Beseech the Mirror requires 3 black, and this can sometimes help us meet the requirement. The synthesizer is our key card. We'll want to get it on board early and often and get more and more of them in play. The helm is a great tool and perfect companion card to the synthesizer. We can use it to make copies of our Robot Overlords, and when we make a token, the helm will also generate a map token, which helps in boosting Robot Overlord stats. Beseech the Mirror is our tutor that we can use to bring out more copies of the synthesizer right out of our library. By paying the bargain, we can play out the card we tutored if it's mana 4 or less, which includes our synthesizer, as well as the helm or even a banner. Season of Weaving is a powerful utility card with several modes that we can choose from. Each mode is great, but the one we are really looking to use is the copy ability. We can make 2 copies of a synthesizer or any artifact or creature we have in play. We can also use it to bounce all non-token permanents if the opponent is presenting enough blockers to our Robot Overlord army. Fleshy is a powerful life linker that can help us stay alive long enough to deploy our Robot Overlords. For 3 mana, we can play him out early, or we can play him for his full cost later in the game. Making copies of Fleshy can also be a great strategy if we've been unable to generate token copies of a synthesizer. For lands, we have 4 Underground River, the Pain Duel, 4 Undercity Sewers, the Surveil Duel, 4 Gloomlake Verge, the Dusk Morn Duel that needs an island or swamp to be able to tap for both colors, 6 Swamp, and 6 Island. Playing the deck is pretty straightforward with our early turns dedicated to playing out our early cards. If we don't get a synthesizer early, we should look to tutor one out and make copies of it if possible. Once we've got token copies, it might be advantageous to tutor for a helm to ramp up duplication of our key card. Beseech the Mirror can also be bargained with a Robot Overlord, so keep that in mind if there are no expendable cards on board that can be sacrificed. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Cute Zoo Koala, but bro lost it when typing in his name. Nice one, bro. We're starting things off with a 3-lander that's got double Nightmare, a Beseech, and a Season. Not the best hand, but not the worst either. We'll take it. Keep your pants on. If you didn't get the "do you want to play a game" emoji, then you're missing out. Are we about to get taken to Rabbitopia? So far, all they've gotten is a 1/1, and that's not going to get the job done, unless you got 20 time walks. We're about set to fire off our Beseech, and we'll go and grab a synthesizer, and we've already got a way to copy it as well. All right, here we go. We'll sacrifice a nightmare to pay the bargain. It really is a bargain. Amazingly, we had a synthesizer on top. No use scrying over spilled mana. Let's wait for them to send in their men before we fire off a 3 steps ahead and make a surprise synthesizer copy. They even activate their manland. This is going to be tough. For them. All right, men have been turned sideways, and now is when we spring the trap. Surprise synthesizer for 4 mana. This time around, we'll keep the land. We're only 1 blue short of being able to surprise them with a season. Our Robot Overlord will eat their land. If they could taste, they'd say it was tasty. Let's go for some amazing duplication. The Robot Overlords will rise. They want opponent flesh. They get out of here before we can even say GG's, GG's, bro. This is Wall Knocks. It is we who knock. We as in me and the Robot Overlords. We get the expected shuffler special. This one has a nightmare and a synthesizer along with a Beseech the Mirror. All we need is a couple of lands to play out our plans. Keep. They hit us with a nightmare. It's the closest to a mirror match the matchmaker could find. We'll drop our own nightmare. It's not as critical to our plans as the rest of our cards. The old bat raises its ugly head, seriously. Take a look at it. All right, bro. Which synthesizer are you taking? They took the wrong one. That's not a synthesizer. At least it isn't yet. We'll need at least one of these lands to be able to fire off Beseech the Mirror. They uncork their nightmare, probably looking for more ammo, but that's going to be all they can do this turn. They sniped the Beseech right out of our hand. That's all right, we've still got a pair of men hungry to deliver some pain. And now they sniped Fleshy right into an early grave. He won't be coming back. It's all up to our one Robot Overlord and any friends we can generate out of the one factory we have. We get a Tithing Blade, and that will be the end of their bat. We'll get our 3 steps ahead, and that can make us a token copy of our synthesizer. Well, thanks, Arena. I did want to stop during my upkeep. That's fine. We'll sacrifice our nightmare at the end of their turn to check out our top 2 cards. They drop a Shield Red, so we'll go ahead and crack our nightmare now. On top we have another Fleshy and a land. We'll keep both, but let's get Fleshy first. Our Robot Overlords are big enough to tangle with Shelly, so we'll go ahead and rumble. Get in there, bro. Time to taste opponent flesh. Unless they block, they take the hit, maybe thinking that Shelly will be enough, but 2 life gain is nothing when we have 13 damages on board. They play a Warlock, which will make us toss our season, but discard is useless now. What matters is what's on board. Let's send in the team. Overall, they don't really have any good blocks. They team up against Fleshy, so we'll take down the Warlock. Damages, bro. Damages. Their precious face takes 10. Shelly can't recover life fast enough. We drew a second synthesizer. Hold the line. Shelly, you've got heavy inbound. Shelly's pants explode. They weren't designed to take that much stress. GG's. This is Zit Rasto. Bro, I don't know if you know this, but your first name? Yeah. We get a 3-lander with a synthesizer and a helm. We've got a Beseech waiting for the right time and a removal to hold off any early men. Keep your pants on. They land a 1/1 hasty, but what is this thing? Oh, right, the little drummer boy. Tithing Blade will be our play. It'll get rid of their drummer, and we can sacrifice it when we play out our Beseech. They play out a Forge. It's a good card, but against Robot Overlords, it is a bit too slow. We can grow Titans before their token becomes a legitimate threat to our life total. It's time for our Synthesizer. Let's check out what we have on top. That's a Nightmare and a land. We'll take the Nightmare, but we'll ship the land on down. Oh, now they're just too clever for their own good. They pull off the dream combo. If only we had something that was that good. This is a Beseech turn. We'll sacrifice the blade and go fetch out another synthesizer. On top we have a Siren and a land. We'll keep the Siren as it will generate a map token to aid our cause. They take out our first Robot Overlord. It'll be the smallest one they'll see. They will be bigger from here on out. We'll play out the Siren. Her map token will boost our men when we play out the Helm. Take a good look, bro. That's a pair of 8/8 men. Got removal for that? A nice fat burn spell, maybe? That Forge token is road bump in the face of our robot men. They managed to snipe one of our Robot Overlords, but there's still one left. Well, when you can beseech, mirror, mirror on the wall, who has the most synthesizers of all? On top, we have another siren and a land. This time around, we'll ship them both. When you can, use a map token or two. It'll draw through lands that might be on top. They've seen enough and hit the road. GG's, bro. Extra cheese. This is StarCraft. No, wait, it's Sweatcraft. No, wait, it's Lara Croft. I give up. We get a rather shaky-looking 4-lander with a Nightmare and double Beseech. Hopefully we draw into some action between the Nightmare and the first Beseech. Keep. Our sewer shows us another sewer? We'll keep it. Just a hunch, but we might need it. They are on Boros, but no plays so far. With no pressure on the other side, we'll drop our second sewer and check out our top card. That's a 3 steps ahead, which is fine. We'll take it. We will likely be getting a synthesizer in a couple of turns, so a token copy will come in handy. Let's hit them with the Nightmare and see what they toss out. And of course, it's a land. We already knew you had mountains in the deck, bro. Throw something else out next time. They play out an equipment, so they're on Boros equipped then. They'll need men, because equipment by themselves is not how you win a game. They play out a hive. We could counter it, but then our hopes and dreams of a synthesizer token copy will be banished for the time being. As annoying as a hive will be, I think we let them have it. It won't do much against an army of Robot Overlords. It's time to launch the Beseech. We need a factory and we need it now. We have double lands on top, but we already have a pair in hand. Let's ship both of these and hope for better draws. Their first lad appears. He's high on life because there wasn't any free beer. Another equipment comes down on their side. This one makes a token for the equipment to be attached to, so that's a plus for them. Our play will be the 3 steps ahead. We'll pass the turn and surprise them when they swing in. They drop a blacksmith's talent, no surprise given what they're playing. They play out another equipment, and that's most of their hand gone. Should have saved some for the late game, bro. All right, here they come, and now we make a surprise synthesizer. Let's check out what we got on top. Another 3 steps ahead will be fantastic. Can you say Robot Overlord army? I know I can. we've got a choice to make. We can make another token copy of our synthesizer, or we can fetch out another with the Beseech, which will cost us the Robot Overlord we have on board. The more synthesizers, the better. Let's pull out another with the Beseech, and we can make another surprise copy at a later time. Well, look at that. On top, we have another synthesizer along with a Beseech. We'll keep both, and in that order. They even have a sword. Mighty indeed, very mighty. As much as I like taking 10 damage, I think we'll give a block here. We've got more Robot Overlords coming, so many in fact will be able to overwhelm the board unless they've got removal. This will make 4 synthesizers on board for us. That's a lot of factories cranking out the robot men. We'll play out our fleshy. That'll make 4 more Robot Overlords. They've come in peace, bro. They don't want your flesh. Just kidding, they only want to make your head explode. I oopsie poopsie and send in our one active guy. They've got a guy with first strike and death touch. All is fine though. We've got more men than they can handle even after we give this one away. They send in their one guy that's loaded with gear. The problem is they've left one blocker back. Oopsie poopsie, bro. This time it's yours. They've got one whole blocker to hold back 69 points of damage. Damages, bro, damages. Also, GG's. This is Eli Pell Gross O. Very gross, bro. I like what you've done to your eyes. We get the Shuffler special, and we're going first. We've got a synthesizer along with a 3 steps ahead to make a copy. The fleshy and removal are a bonus. Now all we need is a land. Keep your hopes up. Our surveil land shows us a synthesizer on top. We really need a land, but we can't toss a synthesizer away. Right? We can't. They play out a mana elf, but we can't let them keep it. The blade will take care of it on our turn. They'll have to play the old-fashioned way without men to ramp them into bigger cards. We pay for keeping our synthesizer on top with another blade draw. We're just one land away from busting this game open. Come on, Shuffler. Their play is a banner, and naturally, they name Elf. Keep your elf pants on, bro. We draw into a third land, and it's time to start the parade of synthesizers. The factories are itching to get going. On top, we have a siren and an island. We'll keep the land, but send the siren on down. The time is come and gone for the little flyer. They double down on the banner and name Smelf. It smells like elf, but I don't see any. Should have named Predator Ooze Bro. That would have been a better play. We'll pass the turn like we've got no plays, but you know what we're up to. You know. Don't tell me you don't. They swing in, and it is time for a surprise synthesizer. We've got a loaded top two, with a Beseech and a banner of our own. We'll keep them both, and in that order. They play a removal to pump their ooze a bit more, but they've made a mistake. We've got way more Robot Overlords coming. It's raining synthesizers, as our third one shows up on board. They say oops, but there's no oopsie-poopsie happening here. Maybe in your pants, bro. We have our banner and a land on top. For a moment, I wanted the land next, as that will let us double spell next time, but let's go for the banner first. They keep saying oops, so we know they're downloading in their pants. Fill them to the brim, bro. They're likely looking at taking out a synthesizer with their Reclamation Sage, but that's fine. We've got plenty more where those came from. They oopsie poopsie and shoot their shot at one of our Robot Overlords. You hit the wrong thing, bro. That's your oops. They burn another removal to take down our last Robot Overlord. There's no worries here, as the robot men will keep pouring out of the factories we have online. The question is, Beseech now or go with a banner and the blade? I'm more in favor of going for the Beseech. We can grab a helm, and that will let us copy our token synthesizer for the rest of the game. It's GG's no matter how many times they say, oops. Let's get that helm, and we can start mass-producing factories as well as Robot Overlords. Even an overrun isn't enough to let their men get through for damage. LOL. We draw a land, and it's time to take it to them. Let's drop a banner to start. And that's that. They gotta go clean their shorts. GG's, bro. GG's. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.